Another special day in Kisstory. Today marks the anniversary, I think it's the 14th anniversary of the release of Sonic Boom from Kiss. Like I keep saying, one of my favorite bands. Surprise album. This took 11 years to materialize after the disappointment of Psycho Circus, the reunion album with the original members. Didn't, I think, live up to the sales expectation of the band or the fan base. It sold 500,000, which I think is really under the amount they really wanted to do. They thought it for sure was going to be a multi-platinum album. Didn't do it. I remember hearing Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons saying it was a very difficult album to create, and they had outside people participating. It wasn't the album of the four guys like they really wanted, and it left a bad taste in their mouth. So they kept releasing greatest hits packages, live albums, and live material, DVDs, Blu-rays, and stuff like that over the years. So I think most fans, after around the 7 or 8 year mark, kind of said, for a band that released an album almost every year for as far as back as I can remember, I kind of wrote it off and saying like these guys are going to become maybe a nostalgia act, and I was kind of disappointed. I've always looked forward to a Kiss record coming out. And then there was rumblings that, that they did this album where they kind of reimagined some of the Kiss classics, and Paul Stanley liked the studio experience again with Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. So kind of led to an album, and it led to this one, Sonic Boom. And the funny thing about this album was it was a Walmart exclusive in the US and Canada. I think it was for the first year or so. You couldn't get it anywhere else but Walmart. And I had a horrible time trying to get this thing, because I saw in the new releases it said Kiss Sonic Boom October 6th. And I'm like, yes, can't wait for this thing, and tried to reserve it. People didn't know, like, a Kiss album? What are you talking about? It says right there on your new release board. That's right there, And they're like, I know it's a greatest hits package. I said, no, it's a Walmart. They've announced this to the world a while. Please, can't reserve this thing. So I said, okay. Got up early, called work, said I'm going to be late because I'm going to go to Walmart and pick up an album. Get there, the guy in the music section goes like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, again, it's on your nouveauté, as they say in Montreal, your new releases. Kiss Sonic Boom, Walmart exclusive. And he goes, okay, whatever. Looks through the box, like pulls something out, this out, Taylor Swift, something else. I don't know who else was out that day, and he's playing everything on button. And he goes, oh, what about this thing? And he goes like, oh yeah. He goes, greatest hits package. And I'm like, no, dude, this is a new album. We'll get past that now. So horrible experience, and they only had 2 copies. So I don't know how Walmart did this thing, and I can see it. I know it didn't sell as much again. It did well, but I don't think it did as well as it could have if it would have been with a real record label. Because from my experience, two copies for a Walmart exclusive. I don't know if I'm going to sell 2 copies per store. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. I think they really dropped the ball on that. So you got the album. Which consisted of 11 new tracks. You got these bonus re-recordings of Kiss classics, and you got a DVD of Kiss Live in Buenos Aires for around, I think it was like $14, which is not a bad deal, and it looks pretty nice. It's a nice package. It looks good. You got a nice booklet as well. Got the band with their signatures. You got the lyrics to the songs. It's a good package. I thought it was nicely done. As for the album itself, I know they were saying they're trying to make a throwback to 70s Kiss. And I'm going to say yes and no on that. You got the songs that do sound like the 70s. Like, I think Gene Simmons songs sound like 70s for them. Like Russian Roulette, great track from him. Yes, I Know, Nobody's Perfect, Hot and Cold are 70s sounding Gene Simmons. Modern day Delilah, somewhat 70s Paul Stanley. Never Enough sounds like an 80s song, something that could have been off maybe Crazy Nights. No, maybe more Hot in the Shade. Never Enough. Kind of, everybody says it sounds like Nothing But a Good Time from Poison. I can hear the similarities. Stand is another song. Sounds like an 80s or 90s version of maybe a popular version of God Gave Rock and Roll to You, but it's more of a song about Paul and Jean standing united together, standing together regardless of what's happening to the band themselves, that they're always going to have each other's back. You either love this song or hate it. It's kind of cheesy, but I love it. I love Kiss Cheese, so it's okay. My favorite tracks, I'm going to go with Modern Day Delilah, Russian Roulette, Never Enough, Stand, All for the Glory, which is sung by Eric Singer. The lyrics, you know where the song is going when you hear it, but it's good, it's catchy, it's Kiss catchy songs, and that's it. Danger Us, sometimes I love it from Paul Stanley, but it's still another cheesy song. Danger You, Danger Me, Danger Us, instead of Dangerous. Kiss Cheese, right? I'm an Animal sounds like War Machine in a sense. When Lightning Strikes is the first song from Tommy Thayer to sing lead vocals, not bad too. Say Yeah is a great song from Paul. They still play this live, so I like this album. You know, I'm not going to say it's a masterpiece, but again, it's the band unified, and they seem like they want to make a fun Kiss record. So is it exactly like they said, a 70s, pure 70s sounding Kiss album? No. I think it's a Kiss album that has elements of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So it was to grab every kind of fan base. So if somebody grew up in the 80s like me, who listened to Lick It Up first, would grab it, there's something recognizable. Somebody grew up in the 90s, listen, there's something recognized. Somebody who was in the 70s would pick it up too and say, yeah, I see it. You know, so it was a little bit of a mixed bag, which is not bad. And they seem like they really want to make an album again. And Kiss has always been best when they're hungry. And they may not have been as hungry as they were making Lick It Up or Revenge. But at this point, they had nothing left to prove anymore. They toured successfully without a new album. They didn't need a hit single. And that they did this, and it's pretty good. You know, it's like I said, it's never gonna beat Love Gun or Destroyer or anything like that. But it's better, I think, than, you know, Crazy Nights and maybe The Elder, in a sense, although you can't really compare the two, but I get into this more. The Elder, I respect the album, what they tried to do now. I have a respect for that album, but this is a different beast. But nonetheless, it kind of, when you hear the song or hear the intro, Hottest Band in the World, you kind of believe it again. You know, with this album, they kind of came roaring back with this album, and it's a good first album with Eric and Tommy on board. And I wish they would have done more. I know they did Monster, that I'm sure we'll have an anniversary video for that too. But you know, that they're not going to make anything more. It saddens me. I hope they reconsider after the farewell tour is over. I think they still got some gas left in the tank. Even if it's a mini disc, add 4 bonus tracks onto the live farewell tour album, which I'm sure will come out eventually. That would be great. But all in all, I'm really happy with this album. If the Walmart exclusive gave you a lot, but I think Walmart is not made to sell records, because I think they botched this up. And they botched the Eagles album, you know, but that's a whole other video. I think this would have done better on a real record label, you know. But all in all, a great album. This makes up for the misstep of, although I made a video, I like Psycho Circus now a lot more now than I did back then. So I'm not saying this is it's a makeup album. I'm just saying it's an additional album to the Kiss catalog. Nowhere near a stinker, which people thought it was going to be. but nowhere. I don't think it's I don't think anybody's going to say it's a masterpiece by any means, but a solid album from the band, and it deserves to be in your collection if you're a Kiss fan. But that's my take on it. You let me know what you think. You have any favorite tracks? Do you have this album? Do you like this album? And if you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to us. And this is Steven with my recap of Kiss Sonic Boom.